All right. Well, that is so fun. That's just beautiful. So, yeah, a lot of times people don't know, but when you sing at a rodeo event, it's usually a cappella
It is.
because most place rodeos don't have a big band. They use mixed music now, during the
Yes.
shows.
Yes.
And in the early days, I guess there was a live band, that would play, and so sometimes there'd be music. Well, Genevieve, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for coming on and talking to us
Hi,
today.
Liz. Yeah.
So we usually kind of start with kind of what's your background? How did you get involved? I feel like a lot of musicians start really young, but
Yes. Yes.
so tell us a little bit about your music background. Then we'll talk about this rodeo.
Okay. I was born in St. Louis. I was
Oh,
born an opera
family.
singer. I used to sing with the St. Louis Symphony,
Okay.
and my grandmother was a gospel singer.
Yeah.
And I just been singing all my life since I was 17.
Mhm.
And I moved here to Las Vegas in 2002 after being in corporate America, etc. And
Right.
totally enjoyed it. And I've been singing and having a great time since 2002 here in Las Vegas. I've
Okay.
always loved animals. My dad has always taken me to the rodeo. I was the only child in the family that loved animals. I mean, literally love
Love
animals.
animals.
I mean, when I say that, I mean when my dad got my dog, and my mom would say, "Well, he's got to sleep down the basement." I would go down the basement with him.
And
That's
sleep.
how much I love him.
I love it. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, but he's afraid. He can't stay down there by himself. So
Right. I need to stay with him for sure. Well, our rodeo announcer, Kevin Woodson for our Cowboys of Color is from St. Louis and originally
yeah.
Missouri. And so then he moved down to Texas with his job because he works with the radio station. He's a producer and a talent. He's a
Mhm.
morning show talent. So he was on one of the big shows here in Dallas, one of the urban stations for years with Tom
Awesome.
Joyner and Ricky
Awesome.
Smiley and all those guys. And so, but a lot of fun. He was a bullfighter too when he was up in St. Louis.
Oh my
So,
goodness. Oh my
but
goodness.
yeah,
I
people go,
haven't been to a
Missouri
bullfight.
has rodeos. We like, yeah, Missouri has rodeos. Some people don't know that.
That's true. That's very true. Yes, I have. Even in my travels, we were up in Montana, my husband and I, and we had the opportunity to go to a rodeo while we were there.
Uh huh.
And this, one of the rodeo clowns came up to me and he says, "Hi, darling, what's your name?" And I'd say my name. He says, "What do you do?" I said, "Well, I'm an entertainer in Vegas." He took me by the hand, walked me all
Walk
the way
you oh,
around, down and around, and I was singing the national anthem for that rodeo that
for
day.
that rodeo. Wow.
It
Okay.
was really
Fabulous.
cool. It was so spontaneous. It was really
Right. Just
yes.
happened. So is that kind of how you got into singing for rodeo? So after that, you
No,
moved into some other stuff, or were you already doing that?
no, I just started. I mean, I've been singing all my life. I've traveled the world. I've
Uh
done
huh.
lots of concerts. I've sung with some of the best, even here in Las Vegas, along with producing shows,
Uh huh.
singing with a lot of the other entertainers here. But I
Right.
think my travels were just amazing. There's so much in this world to see.
Yeah.
And as I did that, and I would go to the rodeo and I would see these singers there, and I'm like, they're not even from Las Vegas.
Right.
I said, oh,
What are they doing? Yeah.
can't
Why
have
why
that.
are they up there singing? Why am I not up there singing? I
Yes.
need to be doing that show.
So some of the cowboys that I know,
Uh-huh.
I I just kind of searched out
Right.
who was head of the entertainment for the PBR.
Right. For the
Because they do change, I think almost a couple times a year or something. I don't know. But I
right.
sent
Yep.
them out and I sent them a tape, or I emailed them a MP3,
Uh-huh.
and he called me. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
No,
Yay.
yeah.
For
You
sure. For
um,
sure.
I
Because
sang it
yeah, it's
the PBR here. And then
uh-huh.
the following year when they had it at the T-Mobile station at the stadium here, I sang,
Uh-huh.
that's what that other one was from, the T-Mobile. And
Okay.
then COVID hit and everything stopped.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm on my search again. I'm searching out the entertainment director for the NFR
Right. Right. So
because I love the NFR. I do go,
mhm.
and I can just see myself. I have my cowboy hat.
Right.
I
Yeah.
got all my
Got
stuff.
your outfit. You're
Oh, I
ready
got
to
my whole
go.
thing going on here, you know?
You're ready to go. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So, I can see myself on one of those beautiful black horses strutting out there with the spotlight and singing our national anthem. It's one of
Yeah.
my favorite songs. I do it a lot here in Vegas.
Right, right. Well, and that's it. And for those that are y'all that are watching or listening, the PBRs, Professional Bull Riders,
Yes.
that's a kind of a separate association from the
Mhm.
PRCA,
Right.
the Professional Rodeo Cowboy Association, and basically they have their finals in Las Vegas every year in December, basically
Yes.
the first 10 days of December, and they have expos and they have
Oh,
rodeo, and it's just a fabulous time. And they
oh
really,
yes.
I think they took the deadest time of the year and made it one of the biggest,
It is the biggest.
money makers. And most people coming into town. I mean, people come from, like you say, all over the
Oh,
world.
all over the world here. Vegas
Yeah,
is
yeah,
full of cowboys and
yeah.
cowgirls. And I was at Cowboy Christmas this year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's
I
a
mean,
big show. Yeah,
it is big here,
yeah,
and
huge.
it's it's a lot of fun. And what can I say? I make my husband wear his jeans because I like to see a man in jeans. Woo!
That's
And I'm
it. That's
thinking,
it. Well, it's so funny because we have our Cowboys of Color rodeo, and we tell people, we got two kinds. We got competitors that come, and then believe it or not, we had this dentist that would come every year, and and he would pay entry fee, but he would like come with his arm in a sling, or the next year he'd have a brace on his leg, and he would just stand over in the corner and try to pick up girls, and
oh
pretend he was
gosh.
a cowboy, but he'd pay so he could get a back
Yes,
number. And
yes,
it was the
yes.
funniest thing, and we said, as long as he pays, he can stand over there all day long if he wants to. And then we had
Yes.
the women, that dress up and they want to walk around. We used to have this U-shaped arena, and then we
Uh-huh.
blocked them one year. Oh, they got so mad because they had gone out and got all, they
All
drunk,
dressed up
bought all
and
their stuff, were dressed up, and
oh, it's pretty
and they
fun.
would just parade back and forth. It was
Absolutely.
just
It's
so
quite
funny.
flamboyant. Quite flamboyant. As I was looking at some of those slides that Russ had put up,
Uh huh.
those are some shows I had done at the Smith Center here, which is a huge art theater.
Right,
It's a
theater. Yeah.
beautiful theater here in Las Vegas. And I've
Yeah, and
had
I'm a big jazz fan, so I was gonna ask you about that. I was gonna say, I mean, I bet that doing, Billie Holiday is a fabulous show. I'd like to see that. Yeah.
what was cool about the Billie Holiday show at the Smith Center, it had 5 shows. They were all sold
Uh-huh.
out. And there were some people there from New York
Oh,
that
uh-huh.
came out to see it. And it was really very complimenting because the lady told me, she says, we saw Audra in New York on Broadway. She says, you were better than her. You could have done that.
Right.
And I wish I could have,
Yeah, call me up, hire me up. See my name
I'll
up
do it in
there.
a minute, but it was a really fun show,
Fun
a one
show.
woman
Yeah.
show, 90 minutes.
Uh-huh.
I did about maybe 15 to 20 songs, with
Oh,
all the talking and acting through it,
uh-huh.
and when I had some of my colleagues here in Las Vegas come to the show, and it was such an honor to hear them say, I never saw Genevieve on stage. It was straight Billie Holiday,
Right,
you know,
right.
and
Embody the character,
that
yeah.
really made me feel wonderful. I'm like, yes, that was really, really nice.
Yeah, which is what, like you say, what you want to happen there too. Well, and then we had you had some of the horses there, and I think you
Yes,
were even feeding a mule or something.
I was,
Tell
on
or
this.
donkey, I guess it was a donkey, wasn't it? It was not really a mule.
Well,
Tell me about that donkey.
some of the cowboys thought, said, "Oh, you'll never be able to feed him," but I did, because my heart is such that I just love
You
them. And I said,
you're
I
an
kept
animal
calling. I said,
whisperer.
come on, little doggy," and he came on over, and I was feeding him some grain.
Uh,
The horse in there, she was pregnant, and I could tell she wasn't feeling very good that day,
yeah,
and I just was giving her a hug, make her
yeah.
hopefully feel better.
Make her feel better. Yeah, because they have personalities just like
Thank you.
people do. They have good days, they have bad days. Sometimes they want to work with you, and
I
sometimes they
know.
don't. Sometimes they want to do their own thing. Sometimes they're happy to, they follow you around like,
She wasn't
like
feeling good
dogs. And
that day. So I said,
yeah,
come over here. So I was just giving her a big hug and
yeah,
stuff.
love and honor. That's great. Well, like you say, and some people do. People do have the gift. We had Oba Babatunda on. I don't know if you know him, actor, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
out of California, and New York originally. He was a dancer in a stage play. he danced and sang with Liza Minnelli in his early days, and then they
Yes.
did a kind of a they did a a kind of a retrospective not too long ago. But he's
Mhm.
a he rodeoed, cowboyed, and went to the the Bill Pickett rodeos and
Yes.
competed.
Yes, I've been there. Mhm.
He actually competed, but then he now he trains horses because people bring him their problem horses because he,
Yes.
like you, has that gift of being able to
Um,
communicate and
you know,
emotionally feel them.
and I had a girl, my girlfriend, she had a paint,
Uh-huh.
about 16 hands.
Oh,
And
good
she
Lord.
left him here with me. I was taking his name was India. I was taking care, beautiful horse.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And so I said, I always the horse was so big, I would take him around with the carrot and take him through courses like through the big candlesticks.
Uh-huh.
Make him go through some things. I said, I don't like you just sitting here. We're gonna go do something. And I would ride him, but
Right.
I would also take him, try to train him.
Right. Yeah.
Because God gave them all brains, they're not stupid. I think a lot of
Right.
times people are stupid.
Right.
These pets, what
It's
can
a
I
lot
say?
more a lot people are a lot more stupid than animals are
Oh
for
my
sure.
gosh. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Animals are pretty smart if you teach them,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah,
enjoy
they
that.
can learn and they'll learn stuff. Yeah, it's just like,
Absolutely.
all of us. We can more repetition, and if we press I got somebody that's a good trainer and somebody that knows what they're doing and that
Yeah.
cares, and you can feel it, when somebody cares about it. I mean, animals know when people like them or when they
Oh,
don't. I mean,
yes.
you
When my cat, I had this beautiful cat. He was a Maine Coon.
oh, uh-huh.
And when I first met my husband, he came over and my husband got on the floor with him and my cat, his name was Thor. Thor
Oh,
was snuggled up to him and I'm like, okay. I said, maybe we'll let him stick around.
that's right. We might let him hang around a little bit longer than some of these other yahoos. Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
it. I love it.
Ended up marrying him.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
Well, and that's it. So, and you never know where an experience is going to take you. You never know what's what. Gen,
every day.
Genevieve, if people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do that? Is it email, or do you have a website or something we can?
You can do both. You can email me at dynamic dew,
Uh-huh.
DEW, DYNAMIC, DEW at yahoo.com.
Okay.
And my website is dynamic-dew.com.
Mhm. .com. Okay, so dynamic hyphen do. So that's DYNAMIC hyphen
DEW.
do DEW. So
Yeah.
for those of that you are just listening, you're not seeing this on the screen, but well, I think that's really exciting. And I don't know too many African American females that sing in the rodeo. You and I have one other friend that lives in Fort Worth, and she is actually from Florida originally, like you, loved horses, and she would see these animals in her mind, like bulls and cows and horses and steers, and so she's got a album called Offbeat Rodeo, but it's from the bull's point of view.
Oh
You
my
want to get
goodness.
on my back? You think this is the roughest ride you're ever going to have? I'm going to get you off. I mean,
Oh, I
so
love it. I
don't
love it.
you
I
love
love
it? And so, and
Yes,
she,
and it's something because I never thought about that, Liz.
uh-huh,
Um, I just, I guess I just wanted to sing the national anthem because I
uh-huh,
do go to the PBR. Matter of fact, we went
right,
last year,
uh-huh,
and the NFR,
yeah,
and I just see myself. I said, oh my goodness. I said, I can't wait. I said, I would love to do that.
yeah.
And like you said, there aren't many women or men of color that have
Yeah.
sung at these different events. And
Right, because it's I hate to say it, but there's probably been this bias toward country music or whatever, especially for the PRCA and the NFR, which is the National Finals Rodeo for PRCA, because of their 5,000 members, there's only 125 or 50 of them that are black.
wow, yes,
And I mean, we're a little bit different because we have Cowboys of Color rodeos, and so
right.
we're playing Aretha Franklin or
Heck
Will Smith
yeah,
or somebody like that, or
sure.
we're not playing the regular music like a regular rodeo might play. So
Uh-huh.
So anyway, so we'll certainly keep you in mind for that, and
Sure,
we'll
absolutely.
send your stuff along to. We do the Fort Worth Stock Show, and we don't have any control over who they have come and stuff, but we can certainly make some recommendations. So,
Absolutely. I've been to the Fort Worth Stock Show
uh huh.
before.
Okay, good, yeah.
Because there's a friend of mine back in Dallas.
Uh
His
huh.
name is Craig Parker. Does a Elvis.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We were one of the fewest groups that was singing with the St. Louis with the symphonies
Uh huh.
across the country, and the Fort Worth Symphony. When we
Uh
were
huh.
there, I stayed
Right.
at the stock show
Yeah,
also,
had y'all come. Yeah, great,
and it
great.
was wonderful.
Yeah, so and they, Houston's big and they do a lot of music. There's a San Antonio rodeo, and then there's an Austin rodeo,
Huh?
and then
Hmm.
the National Western at Denver. And I think this year, like as a part of their programming, they've got a Bill Pickett rodeo, like we do Martin Luther King Day. So we
Right,
do that
right.
a Monday matinee.
Uh-huh.
Our Cowboys of Color rodeo is on Monday in honor of Martin Luther King, even though we have multicultural contestants. We have contestants from all colors.
Hmm. Yes, and
So,
here in Vegas, when they have MLK Day, we get the Buffalo Soldiers. They're in
right.
the parade, and it was really good this year. I didn't get a chance to go, but I did
Uh-huh.
watch it on YouTube and stuff, and it was really good.
Yeah, able to see everything.
Yeah,
Great, great. Yeah, and
it's
so
internet or something, isn't it?
it is, it is. I mean, now we can hear everything. And so we hope y'all will go and watch this show, Wild West Diversity. You'll get to hear Genevieve Dew. You'll get to see some of her photos. You'll get to hear this interview. Well, what else have you got kind of coming up here? You're going to be, I know you do shows there in Las Vegas, but you're
Yes.
also traveling some too, aren't you? And doing
Well,
some
next
things
month
around.
I'll be on a cruise, Princess
Uh-huh.
Cruises. It's called a doo-wop cruise.
Uh
And it'll be I'm traveling with the Platters on that
huh.
particular cruise, but
Oh,
there'll be
wow.
a lot of different groups on there.
Yeah, some different
And
musical acts. Uh-huh.
yeah, it's gonna be great because I have a 30-minute show and I get to cruise the rest of the 6 days. I'm
I
like,
love
this is what I'm talking about.
That's right, that's right. We need to keep schedule we need to schedule one of these about once a month, huh?
Yeah, and I do a lot here around Las Vegas. I'll do private
Uh-huh,
parties. I
right.
also do a lot of singing for our senior living uh,
Yeah,
places here.
yeah,
I
isn't that
used to have an organization called Lifelong Dreams, which for special needs kids, and
uh-huh,
we teach them the arts of singing and dancing. Sam's Town, one of the big casinos here, they would
uh-huh,
sponsor their showroom to us once a
right.
year. We put on a big production, for all
With
these
all these
kids.
kids, yeah,
It's just amazing. The wheelchairs and all. As a
right.
matter of fact, you can go on YouTube and look up Our Chest of Dreams.
Okay, okay.
And
Our chest
PBS,
of dreams, uh-huh,
PBS recorded it and they filmed it, and it's aired for about 3 days here in Las Vegas,
uh-huh.
and they won an award for it.
Oh, wow, great, great. Well,
It
that's
took
so fun.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is. It took them a year to do because they wanted to see how we got
right, to do the
learning history
production,
from a wheelchair onto a big stage,
right.
and
Yeah,
it was great. It
yeah,
was
they did the backstory and everything about it. They're really good about that.
Yes,
Yeah,
you can hear that. So
uh-huh,
I try to stay busy,
uh-huh,
keep busy with my singing, learning new music. I got a couple of jazz concerts coming up in July and August of this year here in
right,
Las
good,
Vegas,
good, good,
and
okay.
I'm
Well,
always busy. I just finished a show last week. It was a little jazz show I did last weekend. So
uh-huh,
I try to stay busy with my music. I I don't, even though I sing opera.
uh-huh,
Nancy Wilson took me from opera to jazz. So I sing some jazz, some Broadway, some pop, some
that's right.
R&B,
Yeah,
some of my grandmother's gospel music, you know.
right. Yeah,
So
old style gospel music.
yes,
Yeah, that's great, that's great.
absolutely. I'll be doing the Easter sunrise service here at
Uh-huh,
Palm Mortuary, which is really big. There's
uh-huh.
close to 2,000 people out on
Wow.
this parking lot. I mean, it's a big
Yeah,
production.
big production for early
Oh, big
service,
time.
yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
they'll set that up, and I'm working on that right now too. So
yeah.
I
Okay,
stay busy. As my mom used to say, an idle mind is a devil's workshop.
right. That's right, that's
Yes,
right.
So
And I think Denzel Washington says if the devil's not messing with you, you're not doing the right thing, too. So if when the devil's always messing with you, you're like on the right track. you know,
exactly, exactly. That's for sure.
keep doing what you're doing, because
Liz,
yes, sir.
thank you. Thank you so much. I'm enjoying just sitting. This is my first time we've met.
Right, it is. And so we want to thank our friend Abe Morris for introducing
Yes.
us. He's our not only was he a bull rider and a rodeo announcer, he is the main cookie man. He is our cowboy shootout cookie.
He
Doesn't
can
he
make
make
very
fabulous cookies?
serious cookies.
Oh, I mean, they are to die for. I'm like, just get out of my way. When I see Abe coming, I say, you better have some cookies. You better not have given all those cookies away before you get to me and Genevieve. We want,
And that's the truth. I
yeah,
saw him when he was here for the
the
he was here for
NFR.
the NFR,
Yeah.
and he gave me a bag of cookies. This was my first time trying them. Right?
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, we were, he and my husband and I were upstairs, and I like sat him on the side, and I said, we can't talk like this, and I not grab a cookie.
Right, not have a cookie.
I grabbed a cookie. It was delicious.
Oh, it was great. Was it his chocolate chip ones or was it one of his new flavors? See, he's testing some new flavors now. So I'm like, I
Yeah.
think I got he's had
I
like a
think I had the
lemon and
oatmeal.
okay, yeah. So
Oatmeal. I like oatmeal raisin,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they were delicious.
But there's nothing like him. There's nothing like him. So I hope he can grow. He needs a bigger kitchen so he can do and get out. And so
In the
we're
lottery.
we're seeing that intention for Abe, and we're seeing that for Genevieve. We're seeing the intention that she's going to be singing next year
Ah,
in December at the
at the
National
NFR,
Finals Rodeo for the
absolutely.
PRCA, the Professional Rodeo Cowboy Association. So we'll keep thinking about who we know there and call around and see if we can send some letters or something. And
Isn't that the truth? We will definitely keep in touch.
we can.
I was thinking about when I had the opportunity to go behind the scenes
Uh-huh.
at the NFR
Right.
and not just look at the bulls, but able to kind of sneak and touch one.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
People that have never done that, I've never seen them up close. They are
Right.
so powerful.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is, and people don't understand that these bulls and horses they like to buck. They
Oh,
like to. It's their job. They do it out in the fields, out in the pasture. You
yes.
don't take a bull that's just wandering around in the pasture
Yeah.
to be a rodeo bucking bull. Now they
Yeah.
breed them for that too, but in the early
Yeah.
days. It was the
Yeah.
ones that really liked that kicked and jumped and
Yeah.
ran and tried to get out of the fence and all of that kind of stuff,
Yes, for sure.
that's
And
and
you look
they're
them in the eye, and they'll look back at you like, "Yeah, what are you
yeah,
looking at?"
well, and they're as famous as the cowboys.
They are.
At that professional at the NFR level, we had a bull here for years called Bodacious, that was
I
never
saw
ridden. Did
Bodacious
you see him?
at the NFR. That's when they retired him. It was about
Yeah,
3 or
they
4 years ago, I think, or
yeah.
something. Yeah.
And so he competed here in Mesquite because we have the Mesquite Professional Rodeo, which is the
Mhm.
PRCA rodeo that runs like all summer long, and so Donnie Gay, who was the 8-time
Mhm.
bull riding champion, his family
Yes.
owned that rodeo, and so
Wow.
but the only time he didn't win during those 10 years he was rodeoing was Charlie Sampson. Pee
Yep.
Wee Sampson won in 1983, so Charlie's
Yes.
our only black bull rider, but it was so fun to be able to say, "Oh well, yeah, I know that guy that beat you, Donnie, that one time. Oh, he was so bad. I mean, he
Oh,
loves Charlie, and they're great friends now, or
yes. I watched
always
them
were.
on
But
the interview, at the Golden Nugget, I think, or
uh-huh,
here in Las Vegas. I watched Charlie and Danny,
and
on
yeah,
the interview.
yeah,
It it was really cool.
isn't that
And they
funny?
were
So
teasing about that.
right, right. So we always have to give him a little bit of a
Little nudge.
yay yay for Charlie and a little nudge to Donnie because he was just because when especially younger now he's great, but when he was younger, I talk about the big head, he had one, but I mean he was good though too, but he could practice and he grew up and and
Yes,
it's just a different environment when you have the opportunity to
to get it done.
train and
Mhm.
get skills just like you singing. The more you sing, the better you get, the more you
Absolutely.
practice.
I teach vocal technique.
I was going to ask, do you teach too? Yeah. Okay.
I
Great.
teach
Great.
also, and I enjoy it because people think that you can just get up and sing.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of singers out there who just been la 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 la.
Right.
However, when you learn the technique
Uh-huh.
of singing, it's not as easy as people think it is.
Right.
We try
Right.
to perform on stage where it looks easy,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's not as easy. And I guess my first rule is no air, no notes.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you gotta
Learn
learn
to
to
you gotta
breathe.
learn to breathe.
Gotta
Right.
learn
Yeah.
to breathe. Yes,
Yeah,
and
and especially for opera or something
yes.
like that. I mean, anything, but especially at opera too. I've got one of my best friends sang opera here in Dallas with the symphony chorus, and it's a whole different, like you say, level of
Totally.
professionalism and understanding, and then to have a range. I mean, and I was great friends with Herb Jeffries, who
Mhm.
had a 13 octave range,
Yes.
and Herb
Jeez.
was such a delight. We would just sit at his feet. I didn't meet him till he was 90. We knew him for that last 10 or 11 years that he was
Sure.
alive. But,
Sure.
we sat at his feet and just, marveled because he was, such a
Wonderful.
humanitarian, wonderful human being that just
Yes.
loved everybody and had such, like you say, great experiences traveling the world singing. He had a jazz club, over in Paris during
And
the
that's what's
60s.
funny about, I mean, that's what's cool about
Yeah.
us being singers. We get to sing almost any place,
Any place,
you
yeah.
know,
It takes
and
you all over the world, like you
oh
say,
yeah,
and opens your
France.
mind.
I've been all over Europe and Australia and down to
Yeah.
Sri Lanka and Dubai.
Oh,
And
wow, uh-huh.
to actually see these places, you see pictures.
Right.
When you see them, it's kind of like I like to describe it as how Santa Claus meets the M&Ms. You know that commercial? It
Right.
does exist.
It does exist. That's right, that's right. Well, so where was your favorite place to travel?
It was Australia.
Australia,
Yeah,
okay. Now
I think
they
yeah,
say that everything down there has teeth. Did you find that
yes,
to be
it
true?
does, but, I think what I loved about it is the fact that it's European and American
Ah,
kinda
right.
mushed
It's
together.
kind of a mix, yeah.
Yeah, and and of course, I had a
Awesome.
great time seeing a lot of the kangaroos out in the wild,
Uh-huh.
the
Yeah, I was
koalas.
gonna ask you if you got a chance to go out
Oh
where the
my gosh,
tribal folks
yes.
were.
Not
Yeah.
only that, I had a chance to hold my first, as they call them, joeys, you know?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Baby
It was
kangaroo.
I saw it, I was at a, wild rescue
Uh-huh.
ranch, and I walked in, and there's this little joey on the floor with his foot wrapped up, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, look at this." And so I said, "Well, how do you hold one of these?" And the ranger picked it up and put it in my arms, and I'm like, "Oh my goodness." The mother had gotten killed, so they were taking
Oh gosh, so they were taking care of it. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, over there, man, I had a chance to see and just do all types of things, and
Uh-huh.
it's wonderful.
Right.
So
Right. Hi,
I would say
Christine.
Australia is one of my favorites.
Great, great. Well, anyway, so okay, so you heard it here. Genevieve says Australia, everybody has to go. There's Christina Campbell. We appreciate you jumping on, Christina. I think
Thanks, Jess.
Mabel Cannings is on here as well, watching us. And well, our time is up. I mean, it goes so
Already?
fast. I go, I can't believe it. But Russ is always holding my feet to the fire, my producer here, because I'm always running over. But if there's one last thing you want to share with us, go ahead and share your information one more time, and then we'll be sure that's in the show notes so that y'all can get in touch with Genevieve yourself.
Yes, you can find me at dynamicdew@yahoo.com,
Okay.
or my website is dynamic-dew.com.
.com. Great. Well, Genevieve, this has been so much fun. I'm so glad to meet you, and I hope
Same
one day
here.
we'll get to meet in person. You come to
Yeah.
Dallas, you call me, and we'll take you to the rodeo for sure. And if I get to Las Vegas, I need to come see one of your shows. That'd be
You
fabulous.
absolutely, absolutely. It was such a pleasure to meet and talk with you, Liz. We'll keep in touch.
Okay, sounds great. Thanks so
Okay.
much. So this has been Liz Lawless, your host for Wild West Diversity with episode 51, and we've been talking with living legend and singer Genevieve Dew. So go check out her stuff at
Yeah.
dynamic-dew.com.
Plus, you can find me all over YouTube.
Yeah, and YouTube, I was going to say, I know she's got some videos there on
Oh,
YouTube. So just put her name in. It's Genevieve Dew, Dew, and you'll find Genevieve Dew there on YouTube. And come back and see us. We're here every Thursday at 5 p.m. Next week, we'll be talking with Art Burton, who's a great historian out of Chicago, who wrote Black, Red, and Deadly. He wrote some of the first outlaw and marshal stories about black marshals and black outlaws. So be looking forward to that next week. And thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the trail. Bye-bye. Hello, this is Liz Lawless, your host for Wild West Diversity, where we tell the rarely and untold stories of multicultural contributions to the settling of the American Wild West. Each Thursday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, we'll be sharing a historical legend and a living legend. Someone from history and someone living that Western lifestyle today, keeping it alive for the future generation. We hope you'll join us on Thursday. If not, we'll see you on the trail.